Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. So I wanted to talk to you about the number one secret to investing success, and I'm going to give you the answer straight away: compounding. Now in this video I don't just want to talk you through why it's important, I want to show you actual examples. So let me actually show you. We're going to start off with a demonstration of the same person at three different age groups. So here we've got Gary. In the first picture, Gary's 18. In the second picture, with his thumbs up, Gary's 30. And in the last picture, Gary's 50. Now, in each scenario, we're going to do it as if Gary's only just started investing at those ages. And we'll use the same type of setup in each one. So Gary's invested an initial £1,000 in every scenario. And then he can spare £300 every single month. This figure will be compounded at 6% annually, because that's like a reasonable figure. That's not really that difficult to get to. With Gary, we're wanting to enjoy this money when he turns 70. Now, let's look at each one and what will happen. We'll start with Gary at 50 years old. So he started later in life in this one. Now, as you can see here by the chart, we'll look at the chart specifically. So in light blue is how much Gary is contributing over the year. So as you can see, in year 1, year 2, year 3, Gary is doing all the heavy lifting. So there, the light blue is all him. He's earning next to nothing year 1, next to nothing year 2. The orange is the dividends that are coming in and then being reinvested. So if you look, it's next to nothing as it goes on. But over time, and towards the end of his 20 years, because he wants to enjoy the money at 70, is almost half of his portfolio is made up of the interest that has been accumulating, that has been reinvested, buying more shares, reinvested, buying more shares. And by the end, in fact, so we'll look at the stats at the bottom, overall, over his journey of 20 years, Gary invested £73,000 of his own money. However, from interest alone, he earned £66,277.04. So he almost equated his entire investment. He nearly doubled it just through interest only. So at that point, say at 70 years old there, and Gary's ready to pull the trigger and he's ready to just take the dividends at a 6% yield and enjoy it, Gary can happily enjoy £696.38 without actually damaging this. He can just enjoy it off the top. This won't grow anymore, but he can take that money and enjoy the rest of his days with £696. Now that money's not to be sniffed at all, is it? But the really important part, and what I want to show you, is what happens when you start investing early, because we're going to watch the magic that is compounding of the interest and how that really works for you. So this is Gary. Had he started at 30 years old, he's all happy there because he started sooner. So again, we're working to the age of 70. So after 40 years, this is what Gary's looks like. Now, as you can see again, the first, sort of 10 years, it's all Gary's wage, just constantly investing, next to no interest, nothing going on, nothing to report, doesn't even look good. And then it keeps growing and keeps growing and keeps growing. And if you look here, by about the 20th year, it's like he's matching the entire investment, and then it just continues growing. So if you look, this is the part that we're interested in. This is the compounding. This is where your interest is then going onwards and earning you even more interest, and then that interest is earning new interest, and it just goes parabolic. So if you look there, the lion's share, in fact, we'll look at the statistics. So overall, on his 40-year journey there, Gary invested of his own money from exchanging his hard work, his labour for money. He's got £145,000 invested. However, from interest earned, Gary earned £437,750 and then 23 pence. So he's trebled his investment just from his dividends, earning more interest, which then earns more interest, which then earns more interest. So he's earned 3 times. So the longer you allow your money to work for you, the better off you are, basically. That's the secret sauce. Allowing your money to just compound, do its magic, and it will look after you in the long term. So in this instance, his entire wealth in total there is £582,750,000. But more importantly, so if he wants to stop there and really enjoy himself in his 70s, I mean, there's nothing to stop you doing it sooner, but if you wanted to pull the trigger just to keep it consistent with the other examples, he would be able to have £2,913.75. Now, if you're 70 years old, your other bills are taken care of, and you're pulling that in, you're going to have a very, very, very happy pension. Now, the most important part now here is what happens when Gary starts at 18. So let's take a look. If Gary had started at 18 years old, and this boy should be smiling because his is even better, take a look at this. So he has 52 years to invest to get to 70 years old, to keep it consistent. Again, it's the same theme. In the early years, little Gary here, he's exchanging his time for labour. He's exchanging his labour, for money. He's then investing that money. He's doing all the heavy lifting. His dividends are doing very little. They're there. You can barely see them, but they're there. And they're doing a little bit, and they're doing a little bit. But as that time progresses, and he just keeps reinvesting the dividends, we see it, just like the other examples, spiral to such a point. Look at the orange there compared to his initial investment. But again, we'll read it from the statistics because this is what's really important. So again, it's not that much over his actual lifestyle cycle that he's invested of his own money. So if you look, he's only invested over them 52 years, £188,200 himself. So that's his own money. But look at how much interest he's earned in this equation. £1,046,000, 809 pence. £809.87. So that's nearly over 5 times his original investment. And you can see it in the growth of that there. So again, the secret is allowing your money over time to compound. Just keep reinvesting it, and look at how much he could enjoy by the end of that. £6,175.04 per month to spend on whatever Gary wishes. Now, I know, you'll all be saying the same things over and over to me. This was just an illustrative in purpose, guys, and you'll be thinking, well, I don't want to enjoy the money when I'm 70. But this is just to show you a consistent approach of what happens if you allow your money to accumulate long term. Now, Gary, this Gary here at 18, he might want to enjoy his life in his 40s. Even still, his portfolio, if you look across, is £600,000-700,000, and he'll still have an extremely good revenue from that. Now compare that if Gary did nothing in his whole life and he just wanted to exchange his time and labour for money. Gary would still have a very low wage, and it would be down here consistently, not moving anywhere, just drudging sideways. So in this world, you're going to have to look after yourself. And the best part of this example, what some of you should have noticed, is I actually used really low, really conservative numbers. Like I used 6% annual yield, when in fact you can compound quarterly, 6 months, annually. I chose annually for this to show you the slowest sort of form, but really you can compound like on several occasions, can't you? Also on top of that, I chose a 6% annual yield. There are companies that you can invest in where eventually it'll grow and your yield becomes 10%, 15%, 20%, which makes that even more exciting. So you can get to these stages quicker. And I also chose an additional balance of £300 a month contributed from Gary's wage, which is a very small amount. If Gary gets a good job, or he focuses on maximising his income and exchanging it for time early on, he could contribute £500,000 a month. And just for fun, I thought we would run that through the books to show you how important and how big that can actually be. So this last one, just for fun, is if Gary contributes £800 a month, and instead of annually, he looks to compound it every half year, and it's at an interest yield of 8%. Now again, these aren't wacky numbers. This is achievable for a lot of people if they're willing to work hard. But let's look at the numbers now. So over his 52 years to get to 70, Gary's invested £500,200 of his own money. But just look at that number. Look at how much interest that Gary's earned from that £500,000. £6.6 million. £6,645,088.45. And even if he stopped at that point and he went, right, I don't even want to touch the capital and all of that I've accrued, I just want to live off my 8% yield at that point. Just his 8% yield on that money is £47,635 and 25 pence per month. Think about that. His entire worth at that point is £7.1 million. And this is completely achievable. When you're young, you don't like to think like this. You don't like to think long term. You think life will just fix itself. It'll sort itself out and I'll be good. So you want to spend it on silly clothing, a new car, impress your friends. You want to go out, you want to spend it on holidays, you want to this. I'm suggesting you still do those types of things, but in moderation, and you look to have an eye towards the future. So this whole chart is showing you what you can build with persistent growth and the magic of compounding. Just continually reinvest your money and just let it work for you. And eventually, as the orange shows, the orange is the heavy lifting from your compounding. So them tiny increments growing in blue is all that you're investing over your life. The orange is what your compounding does. Just let your money work for you. So many people don't do that. They want to live in the moment. They want to buy things. They want to accrue holidays, cars. They want to go on adventures, and I can understand that. But if you just allow your money to work for you, you can have such a great time. And again, in this scenario, you don't have to enjoy that money at 70. The best part is, this Gary, again, doing this scenario, he could decide that he's going to pull the trigger at age 40. He's going to retire at 40. And if you look, it's probably close to 3 million. 3 million, which will probably be, only £20,000 a month that he retires on. He retires at 40. He lives an absolute insane lifestyle. And the best part is, if he just lives off the monthly revenue from the interest, he doesn't even touch the capital. So that will just transition sideways at that point. It won't grow anymore. But the important thing is you've already have this fantastic wealth. And then, of course, you can look to pass on these figures to your children. You can inherit this wealth. You can look for ways to pass this on. And that's what makes this so magical. How so many people are unaware of this. I speak to people all the time and they don't really have an understanding of compound interest and how it's like is it the seventh or the eighth wonder of the world or whatever that's classed as. It's amazing how this can work for you. Now, I'm nearer here. I'm near 40. So my investment strategy, I have to work really hard now. I have to invest hard. I have to use big numbers to get this stuff compounding for me. And that's because I didn't have the privilege of having anybody tell me at this young age to start this process. I wish I'd have come across a video like mine here telling me this information at age 18 and I'd have started on this journey. But instead I was chasing the shiny object. I wanted to make fast money real quick, and as a result I was trying to trade in and trade out, flip shares, and as I've mentioned in previous videos, that came with limited success. So there were times that I did well and I doubled my money, hell, even tripled my money, and it feels fantastic. But there were other times where I lost a lot of money because I didn't fully understand what it was that I was doing, and as a result, essentially some of these years I just drifted sideways. I won and then I lost, and as a result, overall, if you look, it kind of balanced out. So I was going nowhere and doing nothing fast. And that's why in these videos, guys, I want to show you my journey. There's nothing sort of flamboyant about me. I'm not a particularly high earner. I'm just a working class lad, and I want to show you how to build this well. So this journey is what you're going to watch me do if you subscribe to my channel. You're going to watch me accumulate. I'm sort of here where at the minute I'm doing the heavy lifting. My dividends are relatively low to what I'm putting in, but you're going to watch this beautiful thing take place over the journey of my channel. And that's why I want you to subscribe to my channel, and we can do it together. We can bounce off each other's energy and we can build this portfolio together. But I just wanted to show you this because I wish somebody had this information for me when I was a young man. I was just sort of thrown to it. You get a job like everybody else and don't really think too much about the future. But this is why you should focus on the future. I mean, again, like I say, you don't always have to try and achieve these higher numbers. You can do, and it'll obviously work better for you in the long term. But even if you just put away what you can, especially at an early age, the earlier you do it, the better. So when you're young, say 18, like Gary here, you might be living at home with your parents, paying next to no rent or, literally nothing, and your entire wage is yours. So there's no reason you couldn't even bank more than this whilst you're in a job and just get that process going a lot sooner. and it just, you can work miracles with this stuff. It's so important, guys, that you understand the magic of compounding. This is why I choose dividends and that type of growth, slow, steady growth that will just one day take off, over the excitement of trading in and out of shares. This is the much better, more sustainable path, guys. And I'm going to leave it on that note there. So I hope in this video that you enjoy the effort that I put in. I hope that you enjoy the video. Please like, share and subscribe if you do. And I will look forward to making more content, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.